When the world grows still and shadows stir, stories awaken in the flicker of lantern light. Tonight, we sail back to Edo period Japan to witness a haunting vision that forever changed the face of ghostly art. The year is 1750. You find yourself wandering the narrow streets of Otsu on the edge of Lake Biwa. Paper lanterns bob in the evening breeze, casting golden pools of light on wooden walls and rickety doorways. The air carries the sweet, delicate scent of cherry blossoms, though it's autumn, and the trees have long shed their blooms. In the hush, you hear the low chatter of geisha returning home, the distant clatter of geta sandals, and the whisper of silk against silk. By day, Edo's tea houses and pleasure quarters sparkle with elegance. By night, tales of restless spirits drift from shadowed rooms. Stories of yurei, spirits trapped between worlds, have been told for centuries. They wear white burial kimono. Their long black hair clumps around pale faces. Their feet vanish into mist. But no apparition had yet been captured with such chilling realism, until the young painter Maruyama Okyo fell into a troubled sleep and awoke to meet the ghost of his lost love. The stage is set. The boundary between dream and reality will soon blur. As art and legend entwine, Maruyama Okyo was born in Kyoto in 1733. From a young age, he displayed a fierce devotion to painting the world as he saw it, every crease of a cloth, every glint in an eye. He broke from the stylized conventions of his time, favoring naturalism over idealized form. A fish on his brush seemed to swim. A bowl of rice appeared almost edible. By his mid-teens, word of his talent had spread. He studied classical Chinese techniques and blended them with a fresh Japanese sensibility. At 20, he founded the Maruyama School, training disciples in sketching from life, flowers, birds, even carp reflected in rippling ponds. His reputation soared. Nobles and merchants vied for his patronage. Yet beneath the acclaim lay a private sorrow. Okyo had loved a geisha named Oyuki, whose beauty rivaled that of the first snow. She was said to perform at the Tominaga tea house in Otsu, her laughter lighting the room like candlelight. But their tenderness was fleeting. Oyuki died young. No record tells how or why, and Okyo's heart cleaved in two. He poured his grief into every stroke, believing that art could preserve what death had stolen. In Japanese folklore, the yurei often mirrors human sorrow. Bound by unfulfilled desires or sudden death, they linger in the mortal realm. They wear white, the color of mourning, and their hair falls long and loose, unkempt by worldly concern. Their feet trail, or rather, they have none, as if floating on mist. In Omi province, stories whispered of a white-clad lady who haunted the banks of Lake Biwa. They called her Oyuki. Some said she sought her lover. Others claimed she drifted in search of peace. No one dared approach when she emerged at night, an otherworldly figure glowing pale in the dark water's edge. Maruyama Okyo knew these tales. He believed in the power of eyewitness testimony, yet he remained skeptical of the supernatural. Could grief warp the mind? Might fear conjure specters? He had seen ghostly images in old scrolls, but always through layers of stylization. No one had shown him a true yurei, until one restless evening. It was a night like any other autumn eve. Okyo lay restless in his quarters, ink-stained papers scattered around him. He had been working late on a scroll of autumn leaves, striving to capture their fiery reds and golds. Weariness tugged at his eyelids, but sleep came in fits with uneasy dreams of Oyuki's face, her lips parted in silent sorrow. Suddenly, he awoke with a start. The room was dim, only a single lantern burned, its flame dancing on the sliding paper doors. And there, just beyond the edge of the tatami mat, hovered a figure. She was young, unmistakably so. A white kimono draped her slender form, trailing loosely as if under water. Her skin was the color of pale moonlight, her eyes deep, cavernous black, fixed upon him with an intensity that stole his breath away. He noticed first that she had no feet. The simplicity of her form, the way the kimono's hem faded into nothing, made her seem to float. Then he saw the hair, long strands of glossy black, loose and wild, framing a face of exquisite sadness. His heart pounded. Was this a dream? A mirage? Yet every detail burned clear in his mind. She stayed only moments, long enough for him to drink in every nuance of her haunting beauty. Then she dissolved into the faint glow of the lantern, leaving only silence and the faint rustle of silk drifting to the floor. Okio leapt from his futon, knees creaking, lantern swinging as he reached for brush and ink. His hands trembled with a mix of fear and exhilaration. He sketched feverishly through the night, first the outline of the kimono, then the curve of her neck, the haunting emptiness where her feet should have been. He captured the pallor of her face and the gleam in those black, sorrowful eyes. By dawn, the painting was complete. On a sheet of paper, the ghost of Oyuki stood in mournful grace, limbs clad in funeral white, hair cascading like spilled ink, no stylized curls or abstract clouds, just a woman suspended between worlds, her sorrow as tangible as the brushwork itself. He titled it simply, Yureizu, Oyuki no Maboroshi, the shape of a Yurei, the phantom of Oyuki. When villagers came to see the finished piece, they gasped. Even the most skeptical bowed their heads. This was no mere illustration. It was a window to the other side, a truth rendered in charcoal and pigment. Word spread like wildfire. Travelers journeyed from distant provinces to Otsu, pressing into his cramped studio for a glimpse. Many had their own ghost stories, but never had they seen one so lifelike. Lamps were lit at night in tea houses to ward off Yureizu's gaze. Storytellers wove new legends about Oyuki's restless spirit. Poets composed verses inspired by her mournful stance. Kabuki actors adopted her image, donning white kimono and unbound hair to evoke her ethereal beauty. Ukiyo-e artists began to print woodblock series of yurei in the Okyo style. Wives betrayed by samurai, lovers lost at sea, mothers grieving dead infants, all tracing back to the spectral form he first conjured on paper. Over time, the very way Japanese people imagined ghosts changed. No more cartoonish shapes or grotesque monsters. Now, the haunting was defined by white robes, long hair, and the absence of feet. Whenever you glimpse a ghostly figure in Japanese films or manga today, you're seeing the legacy of that one moonlit night in 1750. Centuries later, Okyo's original hangs in a museum, behind tempered glass, but its potency remains. Visitors feel a thrill of unease as they approach. Her eyes seem to follow. Her emptiness tugs at the soul. Scholars debate whether Okyo truly saw a ghost, or if grief and imagination wove a dream too vivid to deny. Yet the debate matters little. The painting endures as a testament to love, loss, and the fragile border between life and death. Art, Okyo showed us can capture what lies just beyond our senses. A brushstroke can summon memory, longing, and fear. The ghost of Oyuki lives not in the afterlife, but in our collective imagination, where sorrow finds form and the departed speak through lines of ink. Now, as the night deepens and your eyelids grow heavy, imagine strolling beneath a lantern's glow in old Edo. Recall the pale kimono, the drifting hair, the silent gaze of a love lost too soon. Whether the apparition was dream or spirit matters less than this. Her story reminds us that art can make the unseen visible, and memory can bring the past alive. Let your breath slow. Feel the softness of your pillow, the weight of warm blankets. Perhaps, in your dreams, you too will glimpse a Yurei, gentle, sorrowful, and beautiful in her stillness. And if you do, remember Oyuki, the ghost who walked into a painter's studio and never truly left. Good night, and may your dreams be as vivid as ink on rice paper.